Hello, this is my take on another book that I've recently read. It's called Me, the official autobiography of Elton John, and I read it on Overdrive. I know it is available in book form as well, but of course, as we're in lockdown, the Overdrive digital service is a useful way of keeping reading. I hope that you will perhaps share your own experiences of what you're reading while we're not getting out as much, because when you come into the library normally you can look at the returns trolleys and you can look at the shelves and perhaps select something either along the lines of the sort of thing you like or try something new. And I think if we share with each other the sort of things we're reading, it means that we can all maybe have a go at things that we wouldn't normally pick up. Because there is BorrowBox and Overdrive, you can actually still digitally borrow the books. Anyway, the book I'm going to talk about today is called Me, the official autobiography of Elton John. It starts with his younger life when he's a shy, quiet lad, living with his parents, who are both quite fiery-tempered. I think one of the reasons that he keeps his head down is because he doesn't want to upset them. Eventually the parents separate, and he talks about the fact that with his dad he doesn't really ever manage to have a proper relationship, yet the man goes on to have a second family who actually, he's completely different with. So it just goes to show there's none so strange as folk. But anyway, Elton starts off, although he's very quiet, very interested in the playing music. And by the age of 23 he's actually in America playing gigs and becoming famous. He has a partnership with a writing partnership with Bernie Taupin, who they were put together when I think Bernie was originally a farmhand of some kind, and he comes up and he actually stays with Elton in his room together in his mum's house, which is quite a sweet. The way he describes that is really cute, and his mum at that point is being quite supportive. And they write in a very strange way in that Bernie does the music and then Elton has the lyrics later. They don't sit down together like you hear some musical teams sit down and work it all out together. It works best for them if they sort of come together separately. So anyway, Elton gets completely off his head really when he becomes famous, gets plenty of money. I think it's kind of the rock star lifestyle. He talks about the fact that he does get heavily into addictions with alcohol and drugs, and also because he was so shy before when he was younger, being out there, being famous and having people really interested in being with him, he kind of gets a bit out of control. Later on, he becomes heavily involved with helping a young lad who is actually dying from AIDS, and he gets helps set up an AIDS foundation. But the overall feel of the book is quite candid, quite funny at times, really quite interesting, because it's not the kind of lifestyle that most of us live. He talks about his friendships with Freddie Mercury, Rod Stewart. They have a very jokey, competitive, almost kind of relationship. George Michael. And once he actually gets clean himself, he really does try to help other people to get off drugs and things like that. I think it's a really interesting read. It's one of the most candid autobiographies I think I've ever read. I've read quite a few autobiographies. I do quite like reading them, but mostly they talk about the things that they've done, and they're not so lurid, I suppose, as a rock star's life would be. But it is a very interesting read anyway, and I'd highly recommend it. So if you fancy giving it a go, let me know how you enjoy it. Okay, thank you.